Morning traders, welcome to Market Snapshot. I hope everyone is geared up for the volatility that will be coming in later in the day. Today is Liberation Day as per Trump, and basically we'll be looking at what that means for us traders and the opportunities therein. And of course, we'll get to discuss risk management. Joining, this is Robert Mbogo, Markets Educator, and I'm glad that you're here with us. Say hello as you join in. I look forward to your questions. I look forward to what you anticipate me to analyze as we move forward. So let's start off. Every time as a trader, when you wake up, before you look at your charts, you really ideally want to look at the economic calendar. You want to see what fundamental aspects could affect your positions. You could be a very good technical trader, but then the fundamentals will kick you out every other time, right? So the techies will say, it's priced in your charts. But then again, if you're a day trader, this will most likely apply to position traders and some swing traders, not all swing traders. But if you're a day trader, if you're a scalper, well, that would impact you big time. So let's have a look at this. Being on a Wednesday, remember this is NFP week on Friday, and so we expect some volatility. And today we'll be looking at the ADP, non-farm employment change. Basically, as you can see, it measures the estimated change in the number of employed people during the previous month, excluding the farming industry and government. So why is this data important? Because it shows job creation, basically, right? The number of people who have been employed. Remember, when you look at it from the angle of job creation, you will see it tends to show how healthy the economy is. If you have more people employed, it means the economy is doing so well that it's employing people. However, if the numbers are low, it means the economy is not doing so well. That's why some companies have not been able to create jobs, so that if there's a demand, at the end of the day, it's all about demand. Jobs are created maybe in a factory because there's demand for their products, right? Let's say Blue Band. All of a sudden, everyone is eating Blue Band, and so the company has to employ more people for the mass production of the Blue Band to satisfy the demand. So that means it will have to employ more people. So basically, it's all about uh, overall spending, consumer spending, which is something that comes with job creation. Remember, you can't spend if you don't have money, and I think this is what's happening in the country right now. Like, so many there are people who don't have much disposable income, and so they are not spending much as it was maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? And that has led to some businesses scaling down, some having to shut down, right? Because there's no flow of money, right? So what are we looking at? We need to look at this forecast. This is the expected number. Like, this is what traders are saying, that the number will be 118K. It's a big uh, jump from the previous number of 77K. But what really counts is the actual number that will be reported at 315. If this number comes out higher, let's say 120K, 130K, then the higher the number, the more volatile the dollar will be. We will see a strong dollar. However, if this number comes out lower than this, and of course, the lower the number, the more the volatile, then we'll see a very weak dollar, right? So in this case, if it's 110, right, the dollar will be weak. So we'll be looking for opportunities to buy GBP USD, Euro USD, name them, right? And of course, USD CHF will be sell, USD CAD will be sell, USD JPY will be a sell. If the number is, of course, higher than this, maybe 120, 130, then of course we expect to see what? You expect to see that strong dollar, and so USD JPY will be buy, USD CAD buy, USD CHF buy, and of course now GBP USD will be sell, Euro USD sell, USD sell, and so on and so forth. Where the quote currency is the dollar, then we expect to see sells. So this is a precursor to what will be reported on Friday during NFP, right? So take note of that. So let's now look at the topic of the day, which is Liberation Day 2025. And let's have a look at this article. Trump says he's planning more tariffs on April 2, calling it Liberation Day. here is what it means, right? So we all understand when Trump came in, he's been imposing tariffs, which is basically a tax on imports, right? A tariff is a tax on imports. So let's say a car was coming in the US at, let's say, $10,000, right? So maybe from Japan, right? So when you impose 20% on that, it means that car will come in at a higher fee. Maybe what would that mean? Would that be, mhm, that will be like, is it $12,000, right? $12,000. There are so many people who couldn't, who probably be like, hey man, I can't afford that car. So what happens in such a scenario? Toyota will be like, hey, this thing is becoming expensive. Our revenues are dipping because of the market in the US. We are not selling as many cars as we were selling earlier on. So they have the option to relocate to the US, where if they produce the cars in the US, of course, they'll not have that 20% fee. But now there's a problem when it comes to the uncertainty of the tariffs. What happens when the next government comes in? We can all agree that relocating such a business is huge, billions of dollars, right? So what happens if the next government comes in? So those are the things that are rising up, the uncertainty. But let's have a look at this article. So it's based on, of course, the America First trade policy, where uh, Trump wants to revitalize the manufacturing industry in the US, right? We all know most industries have run away to Mexico, Canada, China. Tesla has even a factory in China, right? So what Trump is trying to do is bring these companies back to the country, and guess what? That's job creation. That means more people will be employed. That means if people are employed, consumer spending, people have money in their pockets, and the economy will jumpstart. And that means for the US citizens, that's a plus. That's what Trump is looking at. So you can see what Trump has been saying for decades. We have been ripped off and abused by every nation in the world, both friend and foe. Now it's finally time for good old USA to get some of that money and respect back. God bless America. So it's the same thing, like, hey, you guys have been bringing in your things into the country, and yet when we export our stuff into a country, we are exposed to a certain tariff. So there's that unfair competition, which is what Trump wants to remedy with the reciprocal tariffs. So let's have a look at that. Trade, he deems the levies necessary to erase trade imbalances with nations that export more goods to the US than they import from America. This scenario is as a result of that which I've pointed out. Like, let's say Germany, when it imports, let's say let's say a Mercedes Benz into the US, it's at a good tariff, right? But if something is coming out from America, let's say to Germany, let's say wine, right? It experiences some tariff and it's not able to compete with European what wines. So you see that creates an imbalance where Germany is getting more from the US than US is getting from Germany. So that is what we are looking at. Tariffs are a tax, this is what I've just said, on imported goods, and research shows that the majority gets passed along to consumers. Now, this is the risk, right? That uh, if you increase if you increase tariffs, which is a tax on imports, goods will be expensive in the US, right? There's, like I've given you that example of a car, right? What initially it was worth $10,000, now it's worth $12,000. So that increase in price means that some of these people will forfeit. Look at it this way: businesses, you are in the trucking business, right? And you need trucks to move products from point A to point B. Now, if last month you bought a truck at $10,000, this month you buy it at $12,000, guess what? You'll have to pass that cost to the consumers, as a cost of production, right? Because of the transportation. So that means some goods will end up having higher price. But according to Trump, maybe we'll have a look at this. According to Trump, this is short term, because eventually what he wants is these companies relocating into the US, creating jobs and spurring the manufacturing industry in that particular economy. But there are some questions like the how expensive labor is in the US as compared to, let's say, Mexico. This is why, like, there are people, there are countries which have allowed immigrants to come into that particular country, so they can offer what would be considered cheap labor as compared to the natives. Now, if prices don't go up, it doesn't deter imports, and therefore there's no reason to set up shop in the US. So this is what has been happening, right? So this has always been the case. Like, prices are not up, so why should I set up a business in the US? Let me do this in Mexico, right? And I'll import stuff from Mexico into the US, right? Part of the logic is premised on prices going up, otherwise they are not going to accomplish their goal, right? So the prices need to go up. They need to go up, and be punitive, such that factories decide to relocate to the US. Now, there's this uncertainty surrounding it. It could drag down US GDP by depressing financial markets and consumer sentiment. So we'll be looking at the financial markets. We have seen tech stocks affected because that uncertainty. Remember, a company like Microsoft has services in Europe. What happens when Europe decides to also do some to increase their tariffs on maybe tech companies, right? Tesla, we've seen even Tesla being taking a hit in the European Union because of the association with Trump. So these are some of the uncertainties that are coming in. So there's something I need us to look at. So this is what, like I've said, Trump is trying to sort out, right? Surplus with the US, including Germany. They've been having surplus, Ireland, Italy in the European Union, Vietnam, Japan. We know there are a lot of Japanese cars in the US, right? Honda, Toyota, Nissan. So that is what Trump is looking at, right? There's something I want us to look at. So I've already defined these. This is more of reciprocating the tariffs that you guys have imposed on us. So if let's say Germany imposes 20% on American goods, America will do the same 20 on whatever is coming into the country. So basically, that is what we are looking at. What does Trump want to achieve? It's more of manufacturing, right? Uh, some say it will not revitalize the US manufacturing jobs, which have fallen sharply over the last few decades, right? If you look at those stats, fewer than 13 million people are employed as compared to 19.6 million in 1979. So you can see that decline in the US because guys have, moved their factories in Mexico and other, of course, China due to cheap labor. So the uncertainty is something that most people are scared of. There's also the unknown of how long any new tariffs announced by Mr. Trump will remain in place. Such uncertainty could deter American or foreign businesses from investing heavily in reshoring manufacturing to the US. So this is the uncertainty I was talking about. Like, guys are like, okay, yes, Trump, there's this uncertainty, and that's what has led to a bullish a bullish gold being bullish, right? XAUUSD has been hitting the roof because of this uncertainty. Remember, it's a safe haven asset. That means in times of turmoil, investors rush into buying gold. So, of course, tariffs mean, what does that mean for consumers? Of course, prices will go up. And remember, when prices go up, inflation starts peaking, right? And what is inflation? The steady increase in prices of goods and services. So if and remember the goal of the Fed has been trying to bring down inflation, and it has curtailed inflation, and that led to rate cuts, right? So all these inflation was on trend to fall. Now we expect it to rise. So of course, due to the tariffs, uh, increased prices of goods and services will of course lead to inflation. So it's a tricky time for the US. So someone like Powell has his work cut out after this, and so let's see where the opportunities are based on that understanding of what to expect. So there will be a lot of volatility, and so let's analyze our charts. We'll be looking at the majors. If you have any question, please let me know. Type Okay, so this is basically an analysis. Let's look at BTC first. From last week, I've been calling that short on BTC. We can see that drop that played out, right? For BTC lovers, we can see that good number of drop. So I'm still holding that analysis that we expect Bitcoin to continue dropping. What about GBP USD? Remember, the tariffs are having a negative effect with regard to the dollar index. So the dollar index, of course, measures uh, the dollar versus a basket of currencies. And so we should probably see a bullish move coming into some of these assets. It could test, there's a possibility that we could see GBP USD test this low, which is what you would call last week's low, right? So a test of this low will be something interesting for me. Let's remove every analysis that we had prior. So if I were to look for opportunities on GU, I'll probably want to see GU test that low before considering a bullish move, right? And that area is something, those of us who've been attending the mentorship class, you understand that that area is something you can define as last week's low. So I'll be looking for a short move here before maybe going long on GBP USD. Now, let's look at Euro USD. Where are the opportunities on Euro USD? Maybe it's gold, right? Gold, we've been looking at a bullish push on gold for the longest. Now, with the tariffs, of course, we expect that to be the trend. We can see how gold has been holding on these moving averages, which have been acting as support, moving support. And so I still expect that bullish play, on gold. To which level? 2150. Right, I would be looking at 2150 as a possible move. Yeah, I'll be looking at 2150 as the next target on gold. So I would be looking at that bullish push. Now, what else? Let's look at USD JPY. So I'll maintain this analysis on USD JPY, where I'll be looking for shorts to this price level. Let's go to H1 to understand why that level, because you must know why, right? This is the weekly low. This was the lowest price in the week. So I'll be looking at that possible bearish push. USD card, we were looking for shorts, and that played out big time. So let's remove these. Let's go to higher time frames to have a better understanding of where we are at. So maybe we can see a bullish move before a bearish push on USD card. Let's look at last week's low as a possible area. So if we go to H1, I'll be taking shots on USD card maybe from there for a possible 90 pips move to the downside. So this is what I'll be looking at. All right, a test of this high, which will be this order block over here, and then a bearish move on USD card. UT100, We were looking for buy opportunities, and we can see that played out yesterday. This is an analysis we made. So it was based on the Asian low being tested, and we can see price came back to test that area, and we have seen that bullish play. So let me go to higher time frames to have a clear understanding. Now, with the tariffs coming in, we expect tech stocks to suffer, right? They'll take a hit, and so I'll be bearish. Let's go to higher levels. I'll be mapping out this area as a possible area where we'll see UT100 come to. So yeah, that drop, I'll be looking at sells. That's a possible move we will see on USD, sorry, on UT100, right? Because of course, like I've explained, most of these companies have operations outside the US, and if the EU decides to reciprocate also, or revenge, because they've said they've also prepared their own plans, then of course we will see that bearish move. But the first area I would want UT100 to test will be there. That will be the first area, 18,876, before maybe pushing to 1800. NZD USD, we were looking for buy opportunities. That has played out as per the analysis. So let's remove this analysis. Maybe to go to H4. Maybe we could see NZD USD test that high, last week's high, right, which is 20, is it 26 pips away? So we could see that bullish move. Yeah, so let me see. There seems to be an area here where we could see some bears stepping in on USD on NZD USD. There's a possible, I'm looking at this order block as a possible area that will be tested. So let's map out the weekly low, which is the lowest price of the week. Let's see how price reacts when it gets here. I would probably look at that. Yeah, I'll probably be looking at that on NZD USD. This one is one of those trades that didn't pan out as expected. So let's remove that analysis, have a clear understanding of where we are. So maybe we could see a bullish move on USD CHF. Yeah, so I would want to probably see that move coming in, and then maybe there could be a drop after that once the tariffs are announced. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah. So that's a possible push on USD CHF. Audi USD, we were looking for buy opportunities, and that played out. So let's go to the daily. Now, there's a high here, last week's high, that is yet to be tested, right? That last week's high, and there's a possibility that Audi USD is headed there before dropping. So I'll be looking at a bullish move to that high before the drop. Let me see if there's some area where I could encounter some resistance. So yeah, I'll be looking at a bullish push, 26 pips push. What about this one? So NZD USD could either come here or go all the way to last week's high. Yeah, these are the two areas, but there's a difference of 20 pips. So remember, those who've been attending our classes, before you take a trade, make sure that you have the confirmations. Can you see bearish candlestick patterns? You know, can you see a shooting star? Can you see uh, bearish engulfing? Can you see an evening star? Can you see bearish tweezers? If you're able to see those kind of patterns, then that signifies that sellers are quite strong. So let's see how price reacts here on NZD USD. But knowing NZD USD, it tends to follow Audi USD. So there's a high chance that NZD USD will breach this order block and come to last week's high. Yeah, last week's high, just like Audi USD, which we've mapped out and we've seen we wanted to get to last week's high, which is this price level. So from there, then I can look for sell opportunities. I can look for sell opportunities. Kindly observe risk management today. Make sure that you have enough liquidity, you have enough capital, you have good margin, because you'll experience some volatility, right, in the markets, especially after that news has been announced by Trump later in the day. Yeah. So remember, the uncertainty around it is what most people, it's really hard for you to anticipate what will happen. You can just what you do as a trader, a smart trader maps out areas, right? Like you've seen what we've done. We've just mapped out areas where you can anticipate, in this case, resistance, right? And in some support, right? Like in the case of, this is resistance also on USD card, right? So that tells you that, let's see, gold is still, it's been buying, right? Yeah. So you need to anticipate these moves before they play out, because that's the only way you're able to make meaningful progress, right? So when price gets there, look at your confirmations and enter, buy or sell. I think that's it. What have I not looked at? Let's have a look at your conversation. Oh, a whole lot of engagement. Okay. uh what is Trump expected to strike? Clearly, as we've seen, there's no one who has a clear answer to this, right? If people had one, then of course it will be very clear. So we really don't know, right? That's the uncertainty we are saying, Thomas, that hatujui. We've looked at NZD USD. Yes, awesome. Oil, Nasdaq, we've done that analysis. Gold, yes, we are going to the 2150. That's a possibility, right? Audi USD, we've analyzed. That 150 on gold, not 2150. Oh, did I say 2150? My apologies. It's supposed to be that 150 based on that analysis, right? If you look at the analysis, it's quite clear that it's that 150, right? Yeah, sorry if I mentioned 2150. Okay. What about GJ? Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, clearly I'd seen. No, sorry guys. CHF JPY. We'll do that. It seems like you guys want us to look at JPY pairs, right? Okay. G, GJ and CJ. Euro USD. We've just had a look at it. What must one have to start trading in terms of tools? Is it a must you have a laptop? And you don't need to have a laptop. You can use even your phone. If you're interested, Anne, send an email to me, robert.mbogo@fxpesa.com. Today, in our beginner session, we'll be learning how to trade. I will have the laptop version, trading on our laptop. Then tomorrow, we will learn how to trade on our phones. Ask anyone. By the way, maybe I can get feedback from someone who's attended our sessions. Is it true? Those who've been phone trading, are they able to make any meaningful trades? Maybe we'll get answers here. I'm sure there are guys who've been trading through their phones. GBP Audi. Hello, Robert Boniface, the student you always talk with through WhatsApp. 3.5 years in trading. Thanks a lot for your mentorship. I also look to meet you. Oh, thank you, man. Keep winning, man. When is Trump talking? Is there a definite time? Nope, but we'll get that press conference. What periods do you use for your moving averages and RSI? Wangari Patrick, I use the 50, 200, and 800 DMAs. The RSI is 21. If you want to, kindly attend. Also, which of the SMC smart money do you like to incorporate the most in your strategy? More of order blocks, right? Yeah. Uh, just attend our class today in the evening, 8 to 9. I'll be covering this, the moving averages and the RSI. Can we expect on oil? We will see. Mentorship is not over. Robert.mbogo@fxpesa.com. Yes, phone is okay. It's true. Yes, you can trade on phone. So these are people who've traded through their phones before, and they can tell you the results. So I think that's it. Let's have a look at GJ. So gold keeps going up. Maybe we could hit that 150 by New York Open. Maybe, I don't know, right? But clearly we've seen that bullish push play out. What about USD JPY? Has it been dropping? Let's see. Yeah, we should see some bearish play coming in. So let's look at GJ, because I've seen a lot of you guys want us to look at GJ. So yeah, we can see once again, those who were in our class yesterday, we were looking at how GJ has been held on the moving averages. Clearly today the same happened during Asian session. GJ being held on the moving averages. What will be the outlook? I'm still looking for short opportunities on GJ. I'll be looking for shorts, and I would want to see GJ test 192.04. That will be a possible target. However, the immediate one will be this last week's low. And you can see how last week's low was tested, right? You can see how these candles behaved when they came to last week's low, right? But of course, there's that moving average. So on GJ, I'll be looking for short opportunities to that price level, and then that will be take profit too. Someone else had requested what? Did I see CJ, CHF JPY? Let's have a look at it. Do I even have it here? Yeah. So you can see once again the moving average is acting as moving support, price being held on the moving averages. So let's go to higher time frames to have a clear understanding of where we are at. So I'm just going to map an area. that bullish order block. 168.04. That's like 105 pips, right? Is it? Yeah, 106 pips. So I'll be looking for more shots on this one also. It's more like for these trades, the JPY pairs are following USD JPY, right? At least that's what I see from my end. Once again, the markets are uncertain, have some bit of uncertainty, but let's see how they play out. But I'm looking at those shots. Any other question? That 150, I've corrected that. That 150. Clearly, we can see from the analysis where the arrow is pointing towards. It's that 150. So it's bullish. Oil. Okay. Okay. Yeah, avoid pending orders. That's true. Be very wary. If you're using pending orders, just okay, use risk management, of course. Yeah. Yeah, Shakib. Yeah, I've seen you in my classes for the longest, right? I'm glad you're able to now use your phone. So nothing limits you. You just need to have a good strategy, and that's easy. Are you trading stocks? No, for me they don't give me good rewards, but hey, nothing stops you from trading stocks. Right? You just need to understand why. You must have a why. Remember, trading is all about personality, right? Who are you? Right? The same thing like there's someone who can trade gold because they believe gold is so volatile. You know, they are not used to that shock of 50 pips within a second, huh? Or even within 5 minutes. So uh, you also need to understand why you're trading stocks. I don't use currency strength meters. No. You might want to join our class. We have a beginner session 8 to 9 and mentorship 11 to 12 that is ongoing by with my teammates. If you look at this video, below this video, okay, below this video you'll see uh, learn how to trade. Follow this link and learn how to trade. Every Monday to Thursday, there is a link, the morning class, which is the mentorship class. And every Monday to Thursday, there's an evening class, which is a beginner's class. Kindly, if you're interested, join those sessions or just shoot me an email, robert.mbogo@fxpesa.com. Okay, what have I not looked at? Oil. Awesome. Wacha tuangalia oil. Let's have a look at oil. See how our trades are behaving. Can see GU has gone to test that high. So NZD/USD will react to this area or this area, but it's going to follow AUD/USD. So if AUD/USD goes to this high, then you can be sure NZD/USD will breach this order block and go to last week's high. Okay, let's look at oil. WTI. Which oil do you want me to look at? Do you have specific Brent ama WTI, or should I look at both? So once again, look at resistance on the moving averages. If you know how to use the moving averages in the right context, they are quite useful. So let me go to higher time frames. Okay. So if I were to look for opportunities on oil, I'll probably be looking for buy opportunities. Let me see whether this is the Asian low from 9. No. So let's go to H1. We have yesterday's low. It's been breached. Interesting. So I'll be looking for bullish moves on oil. However, for a good entry, I'll probably want to see oil test last week's high. This is resistance turning into support. So if oil was to come here, then I'll be looking at a bullish move on oil. That will be my analysis on US oil. All right, a test of last week's high, resistance, which will turn into support, then go up. So we expect indices to be affected by the of course by the tariffs. Remember, I've had that conversation. When prices of goods and services go up, there are some clients who will not be able to purchase them, and so revenues will dip. And if revenues dip, of course, that stock is affected, right? So that is the psychology behind the dipping of some of these indices and even stocks, right? Because of that part where like clients are not able to afford your product, and if they are not able to buy your product, what does that mean for you? Your revenues of course will be down. They will not hit the estimations that you had given, and so sellers will sell your stock, right? So that is what we've been doing, what will play out courtesy of the tariffs. Morning hours 11 to 12 p.m, evening hours 8 to 9. Kindly go through this link over here. It has everything that you need. Let me show you. Maybe so you need to have this clarity. Where is it? Yes, you can see this video, right? Here. Right? This one. This is where you click. If you click this one, it should bring you to this area where you'll register for a webinar. It's very clear on what is being covered. It's an introduction, how to execute, and it's at 8 p.m. Right, so you just need to register and the rest will be sorted out. So if you're interested in the morning session, you do the same. Just come here, register. Now this one, it's all about mentorship, advanced introduction, looking at the strategy, and this is from 11 to 12 p.m. Trading psychology. Like tomorrow, we'll be discussing trading psychology. Greed, how to deal with greed, how to deal with fear, how to deal with indiscipline. Those things, FOMO, fear of missing out, all these things that impact traders. Yeah, that is what we'll be covering. So just go to those links and choose whatever class it is that you're interested in. Otherwise, thank you guys for your time. I think that's it. Thank you for your time. See you next Wednesday. In the meantime, make sure to observe risk management, courtesy of that volatility that is coming in, right? Okay. Bye-bye.